Ladies and gentlemen, this is former WCW and TNA ring announcer David Penzer, also author of Sitting Ringside Volume 1, and you are watching and listening to TNA Cross the Line podcast.
TNA Wrestling, Cross the Line.
And we're back with episode 303 of the TNA Across the Line podcast. I am Bob Colling Jr., and with me as always is Dallas Gridley. In Dallas, we are coming off of Slammiversary, the 5th anniversary show in the history of TNA wrestling. And we'll get into a whole bunch of the stuff, all the notes, and you'll do a deep dive on the Observer thoughts and stuff like that. But the main story coming out is that we do in fact have a new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and I guess technically you could say it's his second time holding the championship since he did win it just last month at Sacrifice, but then it was vacated. But have no fear, this time around it's legit. It's real, it's damn real, it's true, it's damn true. Kurt Angle is in fact the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. So Dallas, you, I believe at the end of the episode, were trying to convince me that the final 40 minutes of the show made it automatically a good show. Meanwhile, I was not in that same ballpark. Sure, the last 40 minutes or so were good, but unfortunately the prior about 2 hours and 15 minutes were not as good. So how are we feeling about Kurt Angle as the TNA World Champion as we head into the summer? We're going to No Surrender. I lied. Victory Road, I think, is next. It's something like that. I don't know. How are we feeling?
Well, I'm feeling good, and I was just trying to look up to see if Kurt Angle's accomplishments actually include being an NWA champion, and it doesn't, because it wasn't official. Which is sad. So he's really just a one-time champion.
Wait a minute.
It just doesn't count. It's not recognized by the NWA.
But does it recognize it as a TNA run?
That's actually a better question, right? Because that's really what matters. It doesn't matter what the NWA says. Do they got title history here? Let's see. TNA Wrestling. World title history. We're going to find out live right now because I'm honestly very curious.
It has to.
See, I don't really want to go on Wikipedia. Like, don't they have their own? No, they don't. Well, we're going to Wikipedia, I guess. Not ideal, but we gotta do what we gotta do.
Okay, so.
Oh, they start theirs with fucking. God damn it.
So on Cage Match. Not that maybe that really matters or anything, but it is acknowledged as a one-day run.
Oh, really?
So this would be the second time he's held the title.
Yeah, but I just don't know. It's tricky. And I think, honestly, where I'm kind of on this is one of our observer notes was, well, he's not really, it doesn't really count. And I think it was reported that way. I was like, well, okay, that's fine, that makes sense. But it does kind of make you think it's kind of weird, right? Okay, now I'm on the NWA. I'm on the NWA's Wikipedia lineage here. Let's see.
It's gotta be.
No. Because technically, Christian Cage was stripped of the title when they ended the business agreement, so Kurt didn't end up winning it. Because he got stripped that morning, I believe, is technically what happened.
But they still used the title?
But they still used it. Yeah, I think we might have talked a little bit about that. And then they didn't crown another champion until September of 2007. We're probably never going to talk about this, so it doesn't really matter. When Adam Pearce was a substitute for Bryan Danielson.
Well, so Bryan Danielson was probably supposed to win it.
Yeah. Does Danielson ever win it? No, it does not look like he does.
No. I don't think he does.
It kind of goes on a weird little run for a while. Nick Aldis won it at Cage of Death. Okay, I'm getting too deep into this now.
Cage of Death. Who did he beat at Cage of Death?
Let's see. It's not. Well, I'm assuming he beat. Well, yeah, Tim Storm. He had to have beaten him.
Oh.
And then he lost to Cody, and then he won it again, and then he lost it, and then he lost it.
You know what's funny is that for a long time, and probably ever since Shane Douglas had thrown the title down in August of '94, the NWA title had been just kind of like a joke, like nobody really cares about it. And I remember, so in 2007, I would have been a senior in high. Well, I just about graduated high school at this point, like a month. And I hadn't really paid attention to the NWA title outside of, TNA, I guess. But why would they post that? The Adam Pearce's run as the NWA champion really actually kind of, over the next however many years, really brought attention back to the title. I don't know if he gets enough credit for that, because it's not like he was heavily known. I don't think he was heavily known in 2007. I mean, he had done some like pro wrestling, but Pro Wrestling Guerrilla wasn't even like popping off at this point.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if I really was aware of Adam Pearce. You mentioned him to me, and it was like, oh yeah, I like this guy, Adam Pearce, and I was like, okay. To this day, I'll be honest, I don't know if I've ever seen an Adam Pearce match.
I would.
I don't know if I have.
I would suggest watching his 7 Levels of Hate feud with Colt Cabana. I think they made a DVD of it.
Mm.
And it might be even on YouTube, actually. I think it actually became like 8 or something, like 8 Levels of Hate. Where each match has like a stipulation to it.
Okay,
and,
that's fun.
The title could change, potentially change hands on each one or whatever. That was pretty fun. That was 2013, maybe 2011 or something like that. But yeah, I mean he should get the credit for kind of really, giving it that recognition again. Of course, Nick Aldis did the same thing with like NWA Power and one Cody, I guess, when he had it for a minute there, but I think Adam Pearce really kind of gave it a shot in the arm that it needed in the mid 2000s, and that includes a run there in Ring of Honor with Brent Albright and stuff like that. I'm going on a tangent now, but
nice.
That's this.
Well, I mean, it's cool though, because you're right. I feel like it definitely was a joke for a long time, and like, not for nothing. Not that I necessarily think it's a joke again, but it's like kind of feels like it's like gotten lost again. Like I feel like Aldis got it back to a solid spot, and then like the NWA kind of just has fallen flat, and I feel like no one talks about it anymore again. But
so you're right, Nick. When Aldis did that and he dropped it, the problem is from what I can remember, it was like he was feuding with Tim Storm.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching a video package leading into their match or something. This was like when I was watching NWA Power for 5 weeks, and I like stopped watching it. And the video package was like, Tim Storm. I'm like, 55 years old or something. And he was like a history teacher.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's like cool. Like, oh, okay. And then like all this lost to him. And I was like, okay. Like all this is here in terms of like look and ability and stuff, and nothing against Tim Storm, but he's like lower than that.
Right. No, I know what you mean.
Kind of like, I would almost say like significantly lower.
That's fair.
And I couldn't tell you what's happened. I know like Tyrus had it for a while.
Matt Cardona had it.
Cardona. I'm surprised Cardona didn't maybe bump it up a little bit with all of his stuff, but I don't know how long he had it.
The problem and I don't want to go too far into this because we have Slammiversary to talk about, but
Yeah, we do.
I think when NWA went to a paid model, they completely lost steam. Completely. Because if not, I mean, it's so many years ago at this point, I can't say for sure I'd still be watching, but I would have watched significantly longer, but I was not going to be paying for that.
Oh yeah, no, they were screwed. They did that for I don't even know how long they did that, and then I believe that they're back on YouTube.
No, see, didn't even know.
I think I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right.
It was fun for a while, but you know what else was fun for a while? Slammiversary. And Bob says it was just 40 minutes. However, I disagree with that, and I think even during our show, when we were reading reviews from the time period, they also kind of disagreed with Bob. So that all being said,
no, there was a couple of guys that were fucking. The two guys I read were pissed.
No.
The forum comments were like, "Oh my god, that's cool. Yeah, great." But then the people
I think
Zonko was like, "Oh, this was kind of bullshit. Like, I'm never fucking watching this show ever again." Type of stuff.
It was not that bad.
The one guy said, "Like, I'm fucking done with this," and I was like, "Okay, that's a bit."
Well, Bob's being dramatic.
But they were fed up with it.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, listen, it had a lot of duds and stuff, but the matches you paid to watch were good, and I think that's important.
Unfortunately, I paid to watch 8 matches, and 2 of them were good.
I think there was at least 3, but anyways, what do you think that the readers?
Okay, less than half of the show was good, and then you're sitting there going like, "Yeah, no thumbs up."
What do you think the readers of the Wrestling Observer thought? Did they give it a thumbs up, a thumbs down, like you, or a thumbs in the middle?
I so badly want to say thumbs down, but I feel like that's not what's happened here. I'm going to say thumbs in the middle.
The majority of people gave it a thumbs up, 73.4%. And in this case, that was 69 people. Only 3 people voted it a thumbs down show with 3.2%, and 22 were in the middle at 23.4%. And as we usually say, Bob, when you're in the middle, its majority is probably
you're right, yeah. Anytime you're like average, I feel like that's you're basically saying it was all right, but like
so Bob is a stinker about this. Is all I'm saying.
That is surprise. I'm really surprised.
I didn't know what to expect when I saw it either. I'm gonna be honest. So it was kind of fun to check it out.
I don't even know how to react to that. It's that
overwhelmingly positive. 73.4% that's good. That's not barely. That's almost 3/4 of the people who voted. So
right. No, I agree with you. That's just, I mean, I guess maybe because these are from 2007. These observers are
right.
In 2000,
right.
Obviously. So I guess in maybe just the landscape of wrestling,
it wasn't too bad, maybe.
Right.
And without saying too much, I did these notes about 12:30 last night, so I can't quite remember all of Dave's ratings and stuff like that, but I'm excited to go into there momentarily, and we'll compare it to ours and kind of see where that goes too. So that'll be lots of fun.
Now I'm really curious about with the Meltzer stuff.
That's going to be fun,
That's going to be interesting. Yes, yeah.
What do you think I voted on as the best match of the show? I feel like it's kind of obvious, but.
Well, here's the thing. I would say Tom going to Biz is that was good. That was a good brawl.
It really was.
But it's obviously King of the Mountain.
Yeah, 84 people voted King of the Mountain. There's not even a second place. It's just everyone thought King of the Mountain was the best. Now, as far as the worst match, I mean, feels kind of. I mean, we had a bunch of them, but there's really one that sticks out.
I mean, I would imagine. I don't know if I would agree with this, but it's probably my favorite tag team, Basham and Damaja against VKN.
Yeah, it sure is with 61 votes. And in second place, it was the Bob Backlund versus Alex Shelley match.
Now that's what I would vote. I'd probably say that was worse than Basham and VKN.
That one was very much not good. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to be reading out of the June 25th, 2007 Observer newsletter. And just a moment in time for you, Bob. This Observer is, when it's posted, is when Sherry Martel passes away. So just a little...
wow.
And she did technically appear in a segment in TNA. So.
Right, to be a manager for Robert Roode.
Right. So she has passed away. I don't know if they will mention it on the show at all or anything like that, but
2007, June 2007, she passes away. I don't think I realized that.
I was pretty surprised when I saw it. I didn't realize
That's
it was this
only
time either.
that's only 2 years after she appeared on
The SmackDown thing with the
SmackDown with Kurt.
Shawn and Kurt. Oh my god,
That's
so
crazy.
good.
That's fucking nuts.
Yep.
You know, and we'll get into it next week, but I'm sure it kind of maybe potentially gets forgotten about because of what happens.
And that we will mention very briefly next week.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dave starts off. TNA returned to the Nashville Municipal Auditorium on June 17th, the site of its debut show on June 19th. That's not true. That is false.
No, right. That's incorrect. That was in Huntsville.
So thank you, Dave, for that. You almost made me look like a fool again. That was in Huntsville. Of course, this was its 5th anniversary show. Can't forget that. Now, Dave says the pay-per-view was an overall good show with a great main event and a lot of good undercard matches.
Oh my god.
The crowd was mixed.
I tend to be a sarcastic person and like whatever. I am genuinely stunned with the overall positive reaction to this show. I'm stunned.
It is maybe a little touch positive, but
a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. Because listen, I'm saying it was a good show, but like I know there was bad shit on that show.
Yeah. Yes.
Because there was bad shit.
There was a substantial run there of like, this sucks. Like, what are we?
The entire middle of the show was not very easy to get through.
Really, yes, it was very rough.
So he said the crowd was a mixed bag, a turnout of only 3,500 fans, some of which was papered. Had to be a disappointment, but the crowd reactions were awesome, as they made more than a hot, full house crowd's worth of noise. Based on our response level, the pay-per-view looks to do well, below usual levels, and probably right around the numbers the Sacrifice show in May did. Now, he says, after 5 years, the company is still in business and has generally produced strong monthly pay-per-view shows, but it still hasn't turned any corner. Our response level was scary down for this show, which is usually a good indication of the buy rate. That's no surprise because TNA has always tried to avoid UFC weekends for its pay-per-view shows, but there's no avoiding problems in a month with 2 WWE shows, way overloaded with pay-per-view shows, free TV specials, and just a level of overkill never seen before. So it sounds like we just had a lot of competition in June.
I totally wait a minute. They had two in June?
I mean, I didn't look into it further, but
well, one of them would probably be One Night Stand, I guess.
Oh, that'll do it.
Right? And then
it had to be.
What would be the other one in June? There's not
Is it like Vengeance or something?
I don't know. I'm looking it up right now because this is kind of confusing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they would have Vengeance Night of Champions.
Well, there's Saturday night's main event on June 2nd.
And One Night Stand.
One Night Stand, and then, I'm so good. Vengeance in June 24th. So,
right.
There was 3 big WWE shows in this month.
You said there was a Saturday night's main event?
Yeah, on June 2nd. It was right before the One Night Stand show.
Oh, it must have been taped then.
I mean, I'd have to assume.
Because it's not on my thing here.
I'm on the SmackDown Hotel. I just typed in June pay-per-views and found a list.
Huh. That's tough.
I don't know how I guessed it was Vengeance. I'm not going to lie to you. I have no idea how I just did that.
Yeah,
so
I don't know if I would have guessed Vengeance. I thought it was just One Night Stand. But that was on June 3rd.
Right. I think the reason I remember it's Vengeance is because of what we're going to mention next week, but
right.
I feel like I remember it being that show. But anyways, a lot of competition here. So now probably the biggest moment of the show was a video before the main event with Jeff Jarrett, who spoke about the company still being in business after 5 years and claiming it was on the verge of exploding. But in tears, much of this piece, it mainly dealt with the death of his wife Jill 4 weeks ago. In doing so, it was the first time on the fiction television show that Jarrett has revealed himself to be the person who started the company. As he praised his wife for encouraging that decision, it was a segment that was designed to be a tearjerker, with all of the photos of his 3 young daughters, as well as photos of Jeff and Jill dating back in their teenage years, along with angels and sayings around the house that commemorated her winning at first and ultimately losing her battle with cancer. Rightly or wrongly, the whole subject of portrayal of death in pro wrestling left one with a burned out and dirty feeling this past week. Jarrett clearly wanted to honor his wife, whose death was not announced up until this point on any TV shows. Fans were chanting, or loudly chanting, "Thank you, Jeff," when it was over. He could have followed that video and walked out and won the world title, which Dave says, which at some point, relatively soon, he'll probably have again. But he actually pulled himself out of the match, saying inside the ring is the worst place for him to be right now. Jarrett was at the show, and he has been immersed in work since after the funeral of his wife, and had remarked since he had been working so hard, he was only now starting to truly deal with it. I don't know if Jarrett was going to win the match if he decided to wrestle, but there are plans for Jarrett to be champion fairly soon after he returns. So, of course, that was a very emotional video package. But with Jarrett pulling out of the main event last week, he was originally planned to be the mystery guy. They ended up putting Chris Harris in that spot, and they pulled Harris from his advertised match with Rhino up against LAX. So when the show opened, Rhino came out with Senshi as his partner, and no mention was made of Harris not being there. Right after Jarrett's speech, Jim Cornette got in the ring and said there was 2 people under consideration for the spot, saying both started their careers in Nashville and were with TNA from the start. Cornette said that one of the 2 was Jarrett, and he said that he offered the spot to Jarrett. And Jarrett asked it to be the other guy, which was Harris, to be put in the match instead. The company felt it was a risk that the crowd wouldn't accept Harris, but Harris was one of the more popular wrestlers in the Nashville days, and that didn't seem like an issue after the way it was presented. Now, the other major substitution that we saw on the show was because Scott Steiner was gone, and they were really hyping up the fact that Steiner was going to be there because they were on a tape show. So, it was Road Warrior Animal was the replacement, teaming with Rick Steiner against Team 3D. The crowd reacted huge for Animal, seeing him as what was once, as opposed to what he was in the WWF, his last WWF run. The match was as good as it could have been expected to be. Animal showed up in a lot better shape than he was in his last run, pleasantly surprising everyone. It was funny to watch Team 3D actually lead the cheers for Animal at times when the crowd popped for him, because they grew up as huge Road Warrior fans. However, the finish of the 3D on Steiner made no sense, because it hurt a future Team 3D versus Steiner Brothers match. Evidently, this was blamed on miscommunication. Animal came in and gave the impression that he was told he was going over, and then ended up being asked to do the job, so he wouldn't do it, and then Steiner was asked, even though it made no sense.
Oh my god. Are you fucking kidding me? Road Warrior Animal fucking said, "No, I'm not doing the job." Oh my god.
You like that?
That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I don't think that Rick Steiner taking a 3D would hurt a potential actual match with the Steiners.
And why I don't think that is because he didn't have his actual partner there.
Right.
We're fine.
And it's the 3D. Nobody kicks out of the 3D, so I mean,
we're fine.
Who cares?
A pretty short intro to get us to the matches now. So we're gonna run through the show with the star ratings and compare them to ours. And then I have a few other notes, including, I believe, let me double check before I really hype this up. Oh yeah, I got a big one for you. So we have some other stuff to talk about. So I'm glad that the intro was a little shorter this time.
Oh boy,
it's a big one. So let's talk about matches. Rhino and Senshi defeated Homicide and Hernandez in 8 minutes and 25 seconds. Senshi was back to wearing the black old-school wrestling trunks. Fast-paced, good match with great heat. Senshi made a good opponent because he took off Hernandez's power moves, and because he and Homicide, from being friends forever, know how to make each other look good. Homicide used a diamond cutter on Rhino, and Conan threw in the loaded sock, but Hector Guerrero snapped Homicide's neck on the top rope, and he staggered off. Rhino hit him with the gore for the pin, Dave gave this match 3.25 stars. I gave it 2, and Bob gave it 2.5. Then next up, pretty high rating, really. Next up, Ms. Brooks tried to seduce Eric Young, and Young was starting to fall for it when Gail Kim came out to tell Young that Brooks was using him to get into his match. Kim kissed Young, and then Kim is just... Dave says that she is just wretched as an actress. He thinks that she is just so bad at acting. Earl Hebner then came out to some "You Screwed Brett" chants, and Sanjay Dutt started throwing rose petals to the crowd with his new guru gimmick. And then that led us right into Jay Lethal winning the X Division title from Chris Sabin in 8 minutes and 52 seconds. Kevin Nash was at ringside and said that he felt like he was Jim Jones, and Don West said that he hoped that it wouldn't have the same ending. Eventually in the match, Lethal did one move after another, finishing with the elbow off the top rope for the pin. But then Nash jumped in the ring to congratulate Lethal, and all of a sudden, instead of people thinking he just won the title, it was like he was a 7th grader just winning a wrestling meet. But Dave Meltzer gives this match 3.5 stars. I gave it 2.5, and Bob gave it 2.
I don't know if I know wrestling.
You're starting to question everything, aren't you?
3.5 for that?
Yeah, I think the next match is also going to surprise you.
Oh, no.
Before that, though, Jackie Moore was backstage with Letitia and asked her how much she paid for those and pointed at her chest, and then told her that she should get her money back because they were lopsided.
My God.
Ridiculous. Next up was Frank Wycheck and Jerry Lynn defeating James Storm and Ron Killings in 8 minutes and 52 seconds. The match was turned into a tag match in the last week, which was for the best. Wycheck was trained largely by Jerry Lynn and Kurt Angle, and also worked out with Storm. From all reports, he took wrestling training very seriously, and for 2 weeks worth of training, he was tremendous, Dave says. The finish saw Storm go to hit Wycheck with the beer bottle, but he moved, and Killings took the shot. That didn't look so pretty. Wycheck then pinned Storm after a cradle pile driver. Dave Meltzer gives this match 2.75 stars, and I gave it 1.5, and Bob gave it 1. So,
Oh my God.
There's
Okay.
that. This one's a little bit closer. The next two are a little closer. We're a little more aligned. Bob Backlund pinning Alex Shelley in 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Backlund came out in a long robe and a towel around his neck like he was Luthez in the 50s. They claimed it was Backlund's first match in more than a decade, but he's worked in Japan far more recently than that. Shelley ended up being thrown into Sabin's crotch. Backlund then pinned Shelley after a rolling reverse cradle. Then after the match, Sabin and Shelley both tried to attack Backlund, but he reversed both and then put them in the chicken wing. Lynn came out, Kevin Nash came out as well, and he turned on Lynn with a high kick. Nash can barely move. The segment ended with Lethal and Shelley beating down Backlund on the floor. Lethal ran in as well, and then Dave Meltzer gives this 3/4 star. I gave this one 1/2 star, and Bob gave it a dud.
God's baby.
That's right. Next up,
Duds.
VKM defeated Damaja and Basham in 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Crowd so hated this, Christy Hemme Angle, that they were chanting boring immediately, and all four were working hard at the time. Kip pinned Damaja with an inside cradle. So, just for the record, that's all he wrote about the match. So that tells you how good that match was, right?
Right.
Now we still have more to say, because after the match, Kip chased Christy Hemme around the ring to the back. It looked ridiculous because she wasn't exactly tearing up in the track trying to run on those big heels. But Kip couldn't catch her, and didn't even give it a fake zigzag try. Lance White blocked the entranceway and picked her up again. Kip told him to bring her to the ring. Kip was about to lay out Hemme when Hoyt turned on both Kip and BG with a high kick to both. The segment ended with Hemme in Hoyt's arms, kissing him. After it was over, BG climbed in the buckles and tried to get cheers. None of them were coming as the crowd crapped on them in the dressing room. BG was mad at Damaja and Basham for working too stiff, and at Hoyt because Hoyt popped him too hard with the slap to the ear. Dave Meltzer gives this match a dud, and we both also gave it a dud.
Woo.
So, there we go. After that match, LAX attacked Hector Guerrero as he was doing Spanish announcing with Willie Urbina. It felt rushed as it needed longer to get across. It was very random. I remember it just being like, oh, this is happening. And then that was it. The next match, Eric Young pinned Robert Roode in 9 minutes and 9 seconds. If Young won, he was free from Roode's contract. If Roode won, then Roode could fire him. With the ref distracted by Brooks, Roode hit Young with a chair to get the pin in 8 minutes and 7 seconds. Jim Cornette came out and ordered the match to continue. Roode beat on Young for a minute, while Kim came out to attack Brooks. Young used an inside cradle after selling the whole time in 1 minute and 2 seconds, so I guess he gets to stay. 3 stars. And we gave that one 2 1/4, and Bob gave it 1.5. So we're a little off on that one too, but
I am such a negative person, apparently.
it's okay. It's okay. Because next up was one that was kind of negative, and that's Team 3D defeating Road Warrior Animal and Rick Steiner in 6 minutes 39 seconds. Fans chanted LOD when Animal came out, and Team 3D were leading the cheers. This kind of looked preposterous. Crowd was hot, and the match was far better than you could have hoped for. The finish was 3D on Steiner. He gives this match a star and 3/4. I gave this a star, and Bob gave it a dud. Next
Now,
up,
it wasn't
Yeah.
as bad as the other two.
agreed. I agree with that. Which is, yeah, I mean, I voted it as such, technically, too. So, the next match was Sting defeating Christopher Daniels in 6 minutes 33 seconds. Sting came down from the ceiling for the first time in TNA. Still not the world's most pleasant feeling watching it, Dave says, so it's a little fresh that he was doing that. But decent short match ending when Daniels went for the last rites and Sting got the pin using the Scorpion Death Drop. Dave gives this match 2 stars. I gave it 2 stars as well, and Bob gave it 1.5. Not too bad.
Yep.
Next up, I would say the an unexpected good match of the night when Abyss pinned Tomko in the no DQ match in 13 minutes 54 seconds. Now Dave does not like these matches. He says this was your basic gruesome match. The big problem with Abyss is that every match he has the same thumbtack spots and it's an easy pop, but we've seen it a million times and it means nothing. So now the thumbtacks are just a preliminary spot to build to the broken glass. It's kind of funny.
He's right.
He's not wrong. It's funny. So eventually, Tomko clotheslines Abyss onto the broken glass. Abyss came up bloody with the face after his face fell on the glass, but luckily the mask was there to kind of protect him. Tomko brought in a barbed wire baseball bat. They ended up brawling near the light stand. Tomko was on the top of the entrance stage while Abyss climbed the light stand, the scaffolding there. Tomko went to hit Abyss with the bat, but Abyss grabbed the bat and basically flipped Tomko off the top where he crashed into the crash pad. Now, Dave calls this out because Abyss eventually fell with the elbow onto him. He says the cloth flew up and you could see all the boxes everywhere. The crowd in the building went wild, but watching on TV, he says this was so Mickey Mouse. This is where the loss of Don Harris from the company has made a difference. And this isn't the first time we've written that, which he has mentioned this before. Harris at least understood how to make a stunt come across and could see the potential pitfalls. The current people in charge of stunts have no wrestling background, and it's shown on several occasions. They ended up both making their way back to the ring, and Abyss used the Black Hole Slam on Tomko on the broken glass and got the pin. And I remember Tomko did not want to lay back down to get the pin. No. He gives this match 2 3/4 stars. I gave it 3, and Bob gave it 3.5.
I like my gruesome.
I mean, how can you not? And the final match of the night. The King of the Mountain, Kurt Angle, became the first true TNA World Heavyweight Champion, winning the King of the Mountain match over Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Christian Cage, and Chris Harris in 19 minutes 21 seconds. Funny backstory to all this. The afternoon of the show, somebody figured out that the TNA title belt was nowhere to be seen. The stunt guy was supposed to have it. He claimed Jim Cornette took it since he was the last person seen with it, in the angle where he took it from Angle on television 5 weeks ago. Cornette was furious about being accused of having it and forgetting it since he left it in Orlando so the company could have it. Long story short, they figured out that the belt was still in Orlando. Jeremy Borash had to get a friend who works in Universal Studios to go to the office, get the belt, board a plane, and fly to Nashville. The woman got to the building with the belt about 20 minutes before the match got to the ring, which is absolutely insane.
You're telling me on the day of the show, they had to go get the belt, get a plane ticket, and then fly from Nashville? Or no, from Orlando to Nashville?
Yep. They sure did.
Oh my god.
Crazy. Well, the good news is, though, Dave says this match was awesome. Now, of course, he goes through the rules. We don't need to do that. Let's talk about a couple of the spots here. Joe uses the diamond cutter off the ladder on Christian. Harris and Christian were climbing. Harris flipped Christian off the ladder, was about to hang the belt when Styles used a springboard drop kick to the ladder. Styles and Joe both ended up fighting on the top of the penalty box. Styles kicks Joe low, teased tossing him off, but Joe recovered and used the fantastic flip on him. Styles then went crashing through a table on the floor. The first time ever in 5 years we have broken the fucking announce table in TNA. Absolutely insane. Later, Harris and Christian were on top of the cage, and Harris reverse suplex and threw Christian off. Harris then came off the top of the cage with a flying clothesline on Angle. Christian was climbing, but Angle went with him and put the ankle lock on top of the ladder. Christian hit Angle with the belt shot and was about to hang it when Harris came off the top rope with a diving spear, knocking Christian off the ladder. Angle got the belt with everyone else down. He hung it up for the win. After the match, Joe went to Angle to shake his hand. Now, they did an interview earlier where they set up being the final two and a handshake. Angle then turned on Joe, kicking him in the gut and laying him out with the Olympic Slam. Dave gives this one 4.25 stars, and me and Bob both gave this match 4 stars.
Yeah, it was a good match.
Pretty good stuff. We have yet to see a bad King of the Mountain match here in TNA up until this point, so pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, because at its core, it's basically a ladder match. It's tough to have a bad one.
I agree. Right.
I'm like almost convinced. If you have a bad ladder match, like, watch out.
Right. Okay, I got a couple quick things that we're gonna discuss here, and then I have one heavy hitter for you before we get into the show.
Well, I have a house show as well.
You have that too, so we'll do that. Let's do the notes, then house show, and then we'll jump in. Or would you rather get the house show out of the way? Up to you.
I can do the house show right now.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll drink my drink.
All right. June 15th in Sheffield, Alabama. This is 2 days before, obviously. Oh, that's interesting. These are the results. Robert Roode defeated Eric Young. LAX defeating the Naturals. Chris Harris and Gail Kim defeating Jackie Moore and James Storm. Samoa Joe defeated AJ Styles. TNA X Division champion Chris Sabin retained against Jay Lethal, Shark Boy, and Sanjay Dutt. Abyss defeated Christopher Daniels. And in the main event, Kurt Angle defeated Christian Cage. And if you're wondering about attendance figures, at least here on Cage Match, there are none. So I'm going to take that as if nobody went to the show.
I actually do have the number for that. It's 500.
Oh, okay. So basically nobody went to the show.
Right. Also, just calling out the interesting fact that the Naturals are doing house shows.
That's what. Right. What? How? Why are they still doing that?
And I'll just say, I think it's a slight spoiler. I think they keep doing them, and it's really weird.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Really interesting.
That's really bizarre.
A quick rating note for you. On our episode before Slammiversary, TNA did a 1.08 rating and 1.5 million viewers. It was the first time in history that more people, on average, watched Impact on Thursday than watched Ultimate Fighter. Part of that was due to the NBA playoff ending that night, which affects the Ultimate Fighter more than TNA because it draws more of the sports audience. The other reason is that Spike did a terrible job pushing the Ultimate Fighter was going to be 2 hours long. So there you go. Let me scroll past this big one quick. TNA has expressed interest in bringing Sean Waltman back, since all the Wrestling Society X contracts have expired. The idea is that with VKM just dead due to the Christy Hemme angle, that was a flop from minute one, and just burying everyone involved. They hope that bringing Waltman back and having them kind of the original like DX situation, just not with the name, would resurrect BG and Kip. However, the offer for Waltman was less money than BG and Kip are making, so they haven't agreed to terms. And that being said,
now, out of the 3, I'd be paying Waltman more.
Absolutely.
Like, what are we doing?
Absolutely. Waltman is also still expected to move with his girlfriend, who at the time is Alicia Webb, to Mexico City. So if he does come back, he will kind of have the same deal as their potentially going to be doing with Ricky Banderas whenever he ends up coming, to fly to TVs and pay-per-views from Mexico City.
Okay.
So.
Now with the contracts for Wrestling Society X being over, there's one guy I would really like to see back in TNA.
From Wrestling Society X. I don't even know who it would be. Who is it? You gotta give it to me.
Vampiro.
Oh shit! I'd be so down. I'd be so down for that.
But apparently, there's a beef with him and Sting.
Is that ever been confirmed?
Vampiro he's been pretty insistent on it.
Okay.
I remember a long time ago. Probably at this point over 20 years ago, which is insane to think about. But he had done a online interview, and he was just like, I think he feels like Sting was like threatened by him because he was like the younger face painted guy, whatever. And one of his points was like, you just look at my my run in TNA. You know, I get there, and then they stop using me, and then guess who shows up a week later? Fucking Sting. And they never brought me back. I was like, oh shit.
I mean,
right.
They're not wrong.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. Yeah. Well, speaking of Sting, Christopher Daniels was told that he would be doing a lengthy program with Sting, but found out that he was only doing one 6-minute match, doing the job, and they were ending the program. And that was because the rumor is, Bob, that he was told that they were going to be potentially bringing back Triple X as a 3-man team with Senshi and, yeah, believe it or not, Elix Skipper.
Yo, prime time, baby.
Prime time, baby. Let's go. I hope it does happen.
That's crazy.
I hope it does.
Holy shit. Yeah, but you know what? I bet you Daniels would be like, I'd rather be a main eventer, right?
Well, yeah, he just wrestled Sting.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the whole program. We just saw it. We honestly did not get Daniels over in that program. I'm just saying.
No way.
Just saying it. Like, come on.
So the best thing you do is you revert backwards. And you go back
to a team that technically should not
split up.
Returned. They were forced to split up. Just we can talk about
that
more
when
it happens.
But here's the thing. Now that's a very good point. And I wonder if their way around that is that they're a trio. And it will be important if it does happen. It'll be important to see that if Daniels and Skipper even team. That's
a really interesting point. Also, they probably are just thinking that there aren't people who are still watching, because that was kind of a different time. That's not Spike audience.
No, that was Turning Point 04, so that would have been Fox Sports Net.
So they got a little leeway probably there, but we'll see what happens.
But I mean, you got nerds like us who are like, oh,
I know,
you can't do that. But yeah, you're right. I think that you look at the Fox Sports Net audience, which was, I mean, what? 50,000 probably.
Lot. Yeah, not a lot.
I mean, at fucking 3:00 on a Friday. Like, come
on.
Yeah. And now you have it at 1.5 million fans are watching it.
Right. Also, just as a fun note, Kurt Angle was apparently throwing up all over the place over this past weekend, claiming that he had food poisoning. So I don't know if it's which show he was doing that at, but all over the place apparently. Okay, so this is almost like a 3-parter, this big note. I'm going to be starting with some quick notes from a Conan interview with Alex Marvez.
Oh, no.
And Brian Alvarez posts about this. He said that he had the potential kidney donor coming down from Philadelphia in June, and if all went well, he'd have a new kidney that month and be wrestling regularly in Mexico City by the end of the year. He noted that just prior to doing this interview, which was on June 7th, is what this is being reported as, he'd been jostled in the ring during an angle in Mexico, and it knocked out his dialysis tube loose, which nearly caused a medical emergency. It's kind of like you shouldn't have been in the ring, but anyway.
No, right.
He did say that he probably would end up wrestling more in Mexico than in the US, since in the US it was all about what you could do in the ring, whereas in Mexico they have respect for the aging stars and just want to see them appear as opposed to perform. And I will just pause right there to say I have watched AAA on more than one occasion, and that is so fucking accurate because there's a lot of old dudes that wrestle and the crowd loves them.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And they're not good in the ring. They're not good.
Yeah.
Because they're like 60. But anyways, he does end up thanking the fans for helping raise $14,000 so far for medical bills. He says, quote, "All I can say is, wow. All the sacrifices I've made, the holidays I've missed because I had to work, and the times I got screwed over and lied to by promoters, this made it worth it. The fans came through for me when my own company, which is supposed to be TNA, didn't." So,
oh man,
yeah. So,
don't say that yet, Conan. You're still working there, dude.
well, you think so, but
no, part 2.
Yeah, part 2. On June 19th, which is the day of the tapings we were about to start, Conan and Ron Killings quit the promotion and flew home before the taping started.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ron's gone too?
This is a big one, dude. Conan showed up in Orlando, just about ready to work, and then he found out that he was in the management doghouse from the interview he did with Alex Marvez that was syndicated in newspapers nationally.
Conan, dude, wrestlers are dumb. Yeah, dude, my the fans saw me out of the company I work for and are paying my bills. They can fuck off because they didn't do shit for me. And then you go to the fucking company and they're like, yeah, dude, don't fucking say that. You made us look bad.
So that exact quote I said, that's what they're mad about. Shocker.
No shit. Yeah, exactly. Holy fuck.
So the fans raised $14,000, and also the rest of the money for the surgery was donated by AAA from proceeds from one of the Ray de Reyes shows in El Toreo. Now he said that his hip problem, he came to TNA. Sorry, let me start over because the way he writes some of this, it just throws me off. He said he had a hip problem when he came to TNA, but he was not limping, and it got worse in TNA. He said that TNA told him that since the injury didn't happen on their watch, they lent him the money for the hip replacement surgery and wanted it paid back. Quote, with the kidney thing, they said that they would help and they never did. That's cool. In the end, other people came through for me, end quote. He then talked about how he's been trying to get the wrestlers unionized, but since the owners take care of the top people, they won't stick their neck out, and they are the ones that need to make a stand or it can't work. He says, quote, you can take care of all the top guys. They're happy and content. We're never going to get a union going. All it would take is for the big guys to say, yep, can't keep screwing these people underneath. I don't see anybody right now stepping up and doing that. It will take a special guy to stand up. I'm telling you, if I had a name in the U.S. like Rock or Steve Austin, I would have done that a long time ago. Now, regarding LAX's push being diminished, he says, quote, I'm tired of getting into politics. I'm tired of getting into politics anymore. I always thought the talent should override politics, and obviously it doesn't. We're at a crossroads. TNA can use us and draw the Latino audience they so desperately need, plus feature someone that got popular. You'd think business-wise it would behoove them to promote us. But right now, they think I may leave, so they're not really promoting us like they should. End quote. He then put over Dixie Carter and Jeff Jarrett's work, as well as the crew, saying that he thinks the company is growing and making new stars, and is proud of that part of it. After the pay-per-view, Conan asked for a raise from $50,000 to $80,000 per year, and said that if he doesn't get it, he's going home before TV and work AAA. Jarrett and Terry Taylor were both trying to talk to him out of leaving. Taylor told him at first the money is doable, but Jarrett told him because of the heat with management over the interview, he should wait a few weeks before asking for the raise. He said he wasn't waiting and that if it's not worth it to them, then it's time to go, and he left. He said goodbyes to all the wrestlers at the pay-per-view, so he wasn't expected to get the raise. Since he wasn't expected to get the raise, he can wrestle. This is Dave now again. If he can wrestle, I have to think after the kidney surgery, it'll be quite some time before he can. That he would earn about $1,000 per night working Mexico with the business booming. He could probably pretty much do as many dates as he wants and told Jarrett that he could make triple per year in Mexico than he's making, and he'd be there from the start and never gotten a raise. Right now, he can work some dates as a manager, like the TVs and big shows, but local house show promoters aren't going to pay big money for him just to manage, so he has to wrestle. And one would think it would be months down the line before he could go get a full schedule. The fact that management was hot at him may explain why LAX lost to Rhino and Senshi, who were a makeshift team. Okay, so that's the Conan part. Now the Killings part. Because they both quit. So Killings was furious when he came back. He's tried to quit several times. We've talked about that a lot.
Yes.
He was mad because it was his first time back and he was being used as a heel. And when he left as a face and he never had done a turn. Plus, he was doing a job in his first match back. He was also mad that he couldn't come out to his music for the match. The problem is that he'd gotten over his face with his music. He was told that it would be Storm as the key person in the match. He was then told not to worry about the job because he'd get pushed on Impact. And then he found out he wasn't even booked in the next 2 weeks worth of shows. He then committed to working July 1st and July 15th in Mexico, and again asked for a release. He was also upset because the company asked him to sign a release form regarding his knee that he just repaired. He felt he hadn't asked anyone else to sign a release form, and that he still had to repay the company for medical bills from his knee surgery, as the company loaded him the money up front, so he was injured on the booking from the company a booking that the company made him. Right. So that's why he's upset about it. So that's why he's gone.
Which that seems pretty reasonable compared to Conan.
Conan's is pretty wild.
Conan has some serious balls to shit on the company, whether it's justified or not. But then to go and be like, hey, I want a raise too, by the way.
Right.
That's some balls. That's yeah.
Yep.
Good for him.
So, those are all of my pre-show notes. There's a lot there. But I have a couple more that we'll talk about during the show. And as soon as we kick this episode off, I will also hit you with some really sweet explosion matches that were taped here. They're only taping 2 impacts, but they taped 3 weeks worth of explosion. Kind of weird.
That is kind of all right. Well, let's get into it then. Let's get into the fallout from Slammiversary. We'll see where we're kind of going here. The June 21st, 2007 edition of Impact. The approximate runtime is 42 minutes and 58 seconds. If you want to watch along with us, head over to the TNA Plus app, or if it's your own personal collection, that will work as well. I'm going to count down from 3. When I say play, that is when the watch along will begin. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
TNA. We are wrestling. Now we are, of course, going to get a... Oh, no, wait. Welcome to the Impact Zone. Oh, the Monster Abyss is on a mission. I thought we were going to go right into Slammiversary highlights.
That's what I thought.
Now we are. Okay. So 3 explosion matches were taped, and Bob, they were taped in a really weird order. I can essentially 1 in the beginning, 1 in the middle, and 1 at the end of the taping. Kind of weird. For explosion that airs on June 25th, 2007, Senshi defeated Chris Sabin and Jerry Lynn in a 3-way match, and then Gail Kim defeated Jackie Moore and Ms. Brooks in a 3-way match. Then Explosion 194 that aired on July 2nd, Sanjay Dutt defeated Martyr and Havoc was ringside, and LAX, Hernandez and Homicide, defeated the Murder City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. And then the final one that was taped that airs on July 9th, 2007, featured Damage and Basham with Christy Hemme defeating VKM.
What? They beat him on Explosion?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I think Basham and Damage are sticking around for a bit. Wow.
That's not good news.
It's good news for me. Yeah,
look at this thing coming down from the ceiling.
So Sabin wrestled on 2 explosions?
Yeah.
So he's, wow.
So he's done, so he's done quite a bit even on just this show. Because I'm pretty sure, I guess. Wait a second. I might have just given you wrong information. Cage match might have been wrong. Hang on. Because I'm looking at different notes. Okay. I'm saying cage match is wrong. Senshi won the 3-way over Petey Williams and Jerry Lynn, not Chris Sabin.
Okay.
Reported in the Observer.
Okay.
Everything else is accurate.
That makes sense.
Yep, sweet intro package here. And there's a beautiful shot of the Impact Zone.
950 fans.
Right. Yeah, we were Music City, dude.
Hello, SoCal Val.
Sabin
That's a great job. SoCal Val has the job, dude.
She stands there and looks pretty.
The
Literally.
The job description is we're just gonna look at your thighs.
Oh boy, Jim Cornette's in the ring starting us off.
Victory Road. What? We're announcing the main event for Victory Road already? What?
Oh, we're bringing out all the champions. Starting off with our X Division champion, Black Machismo.
What is this? Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. What's that? Oh, no. Okay. I thought Jay Lethal was coming out from the heel side for a minute. I don't think he is, though. I could be wrong. Now remember, it looked like Nash was aligned with him, and then he turned in the next segment with Shelley. So is he beefing with them or what?
That's a great question.
Here comes Team 3D. Isn't that the heel side? Or no? Oh wait, no. Maybe is that the face side? Maybe that is the face side.
I need to see the other side to compare. This side I think, is the face side.
What, the side that that TNA and West sit on?
That's the heel side.
Okay, all right. Then that's the right side. They're doing it. Wow, they're just showing the footage. They're not even doing stills. They're showing the finish of the tag title match from Slammiversary.
Now, Kurt should technically be coming out of the heel side, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah, technically. Now, am I going through a deja vu? But he did hit Samoa Joe at the pay-per-view, right?
Yes, he has. This is also the face side again.
He's not a babyface though. He fucking literally.
Maybe they only have his thing on this side. Though.
Oh, the elevation thing. Yeah, maybe. It's true.
Beautiful title.
Here's Chris Harris basically helping Kurt Angle win the match. Spearing Christian Cage off the... Oh, yeah, here's the... Oh, okay, so that was... Yep, that's right. Angle slam. And somehow he's still a babyface. That's not right.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Main event to Victory Road. Let's hear. Very special kind of match. It's very simply the match of champions.
No.
I don't know how I feel about this. So the World Heavyweight Champion and the X Division Champion are going to team up against the Tag Team Champions. Bob, Whoa! All the titles are on the line? So they win the title of the man they pin, whoever gets the pinfall. So you're telling me we could end with Bubba Ray Dudley as their TNA World Heavyweight Champion? Of course, Jim Cornette says Devon could be the world champion.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, okay. So
Okay.
if Kurt, for example, pins team, Bully or Brother Ray, he would get both tag team titles and be able to pick his partner who he gets him with. So really, Lethal and Kurt are almost fighting against each other in a weird way too.
So
Whoa.
then he just said over the next 3 weeks, each of the titles will be defended, and if they win, they'll be able to compete in the match. But if you lose, they will be replaced by the person that beats them. Now, here's the thing. Could Jay Lethal pin Kurt Angle to win the TNA World title?
No.
That's bullshit.
I mean, am I wrong to think that someone in the ring right now is going to get screwed out of this
Absolutely.
match? And
Jay Lethal is not going to be in this match.
I mean, I wasn't trying to say that directly, but
Jay Lethal is not going to be in this match. There's no way. He should. I think it'd be great if he was, but he's not going to be. There's no way.
Oh, Kurt Angle says, with all due respect, Cornette, can you get your head out of your ass?
Where's the confetti?
Where's the red carpet? Where's the celebration?
Right.
If I were Sting, you'd have a post-Oscar party right now. Bob is drinking a C4 Energy.
Well, somebody needs me to do a double taping today, so I guess I gotta do that.
No, we're not. We're doing one.
No, we're doing two, motherfucker.
I already got plans after now, buddy.
Oh, how convenient for you.
I didn't until you told me we weren't.
Oh,
But you can still drink it, though.
how convenient.
Wait, Kurt has a note in his hand? Oh, first of all, he would like to thank himself for making tonight possible. Oh, he's written a thank you speech.
Okay, so he's a heel now. What are we doing?
Oh, yeah, he's big time heel.
He's thanking himself for everything. They're saying you suck, so he's definitely not a good guy.
I would like to thank myself.
There you go. That's fair.
He just keeps thanking himself. Oh, wow. One minute you love me, the next minute you hate me. That's true.
Yeah.
Hate me, please, because that's exactly how I feel about each and every one of you. I mean, there you go.
I mean, that.
All I've heard is Joe's gonna kill you, and now here they go chanting it, of course.
Yeah. Okay, so if there was ever a doubt here, because I feel like for a while there, the fans were kind of booing Joe.
Right.
This would definitely cement their plans here of Joe being a babyface in this whole situation. I mean, Kurt did break his lady friend's ankle.
Lady friend. We don't know who she was.
Right. Because Joe's technically married, and it certainly did not look like his wife.
Right. It's real. It's damn real. Thank you. He gives the microphone back to Jim Cornette. You're a professional athlete. You get paid to compete. You get paid to go out and win or lose and show your talent. The crowd's like, yeah, he does get paid for that. You're getting paid and compensated well.
Jim Cornette and Samoa Joe should be best friends. They are both just constantly angry.
And getting new blood. He's talking about new blood. Like Vampiro.
Sean Waltman.
John Waltman. And whoever
Ron
else
Killings?
is the new blood. No, he quit. He's gone.
Yeah, he's still.
I think maybe for real this time too. I'm not 100% about that. I guess I'd see if he wrestles again.
Who?
Ron Killings.
He definitely does.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, dude. He's involved in a tag team with a pro athlete.
Oh my god, yeah. Wait, what in the heck?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we don't see him for a little bit, but
Lethal's defending against Chris Sabin and in another former champion.
oh Jesus Christ.
Samoa Joe. I mean, if that doesn't tell you. And Joe gets music. Sabin didn't.
That is
now appearing on opposite tunnels.
That's a really big giveaway, isn't it?
Oh, give me a break.
Wait, did they say that's tonight?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh, JB has hot news. In negotiations with a major main eventer who's going to join TNA. You can text.
I think I know.
76000.
I think it's Chris Benoit. He's
I'm
on the
not responding to
ECW
that.
brand. He's on the ECW brand.
Well, actually, I do have a note. It could
Probably
be someone.
He might want to jump to TNA.
I don't think so, but
I don't know.
Lethal's being interviewed, and Sanjay Dutt is meditating beneath him. As the story goes, Rob Van Dam, he's not going to do any wrestling for the time being, as he just wants to rest for a while and doesn't even want to think much about wrestling. In a few months, he'll probably come back. TNA has been calling him, but nothing is going to happen right away. So they could possibly be teasing Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, but he literally does not come back, at least in a national sense, until 2010.
Like anywhere?
I don't even know if he might do it. Maybe he does a Rumble or something, but he
that's pretty crazy.
2010, like 3 years.
Wow. I don't know if I realized it was that.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Here comes Robert Roode and Tracy.
Sorry about your damn luck.
Oh, he's got a tag partner, apparently. James Storm and Miss Jackie.
Is this the formation here?
Oh my god. I didn't even put that together.
I don't think it is, though.
Well, if it's not the formation of a future tag team, it is the first time we have a straight tag team match with them as a team.
Right.
And coming out on the other side, looks like Eric Young. Showtime, Eric Young.
Whoa. Brie at last, oh my God, Brie at last.
That was what today was just saying.
Fans love him.
Oh, I just want to mention, because we talked about it in person, and as of when this episode airs, it's way old news, but Bob told me that there was a rumor that WWE wanted to get Mike Tenay to do announcing on the Worlds Collide show with AAA. It aired today, and I want to confirm he did not.
Okay.
To my knowledge, he did not.
I've always understood that he has no interest in doing anything wrestling.
Now, Corey Graves was. Or sorry, Corey Graves and Conan was the team, as far as I can tell.
Conan did commentary for a WWE show?
I just read a line, and that's why I said Corey Graves first, but it says Conan does not like Corey Graves. So, yes, Conan was there.
That's crazy. All right, well, we're starting off this match here. Rhino is Eric Young's partner. Young and Roode. I started that Fez press here by Young, clobbering away here on Roode. This feud with Roode and Young feels like it's been going on for about 3 years worth of this podcast.
Yeah. I feel like it's just never ending. It should be done now, and here they are wrestling in a tag team match.
Yeah, be over. I wonder if they were to stop it, what do you do with Roode? Do you just go like, hey man, we got nothing left. You're done.
Well, hopefully he just found a new friend, and we'll figure that out. But
right.
But you're right. Like, because what does he do in the meantime? Roode is like the ultimate. I need to have some kind of mid-title feud kind of guy. Like, he needs some kind of goal because he's just existing right now.
Right. That's why I'm surprised it took TNA so long to develop that mid-tier title. Now, the X Division title had always been no weight limits, whatever. There's no limits. But
yeah, but we know
it
what
was
it
always
is.
like a cruiserweight title.
Yeah.
You have your tag.
Because what? We don't have a mid-title. Well, technically, in a couple of years we get one.
I
think it's in a couple of years. My dates might be wrong.
I think it's before the end of our.
Yes. Okay. So we're thinking of the same title, and I don't like that title.
I don't like that title either.
Okay.
All right. Good. Yeah.
It's really
number
weird.
one. It's a dumb name,
and it's not even a mid-card title. Just for the record,
it's really not. Yeah.
But
they changed the name to being more of a mid-card title.
Right. And then they changed it to something even worse. It's got quite the lineage.
Wow. Oh my god, yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember now.
Here, I'll say one of the ones that's way out of our thing. We're talking about the King of the Mountain Championship.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
And James Storm just nailed Rhino with a super kick and got the pin.
Wasn't every match, like every time it was defended, was a King of the Mountain match?
Yeah, it sure was.
That's fucking crazy.
So we will luckily not have to watch those, but listen, that was a short match. Roode and Storm were good together as a team.
Oh no.
He just poured beer in the mouth of Rhino.
That's a feud starter. Because of Rhino's alcohol problems.
Shit, he just
chucked the ball at him or whatever.
That looked like kind of a shoot to me, kind of the way he just chucked it. Although he pushed Young, so.
Yeah, it's not a shoot.
But the way he just chucked a glass bottle at him?
Yeah, okay. So Rhino's a good actor, and we're going to get Rhino and James Storm. He's pissed.
Okay, he's throwing a fit. He's throwing chairs, the stairs.
Oh my god, Rhino,
everywhere.
Relax, dude.
Flipping the announce table over.
We're breaking the table 2 times in a row?
Nope. Oh wait, it is. It's broken.
Yeah, now it is. Holy shit, man. Oh my god, there goes the fucking chair.
Okay, I like this, Bob.
I like this too. Rhino's fucking pissed.
That was crazy. We're heading toward a Victory Road promo now, but that was good.
He's so mad. He's freaking out. When will these people learn not to pour booze on Rhino? Or, like, make note of it. Like, hey, remember that drinking problem you had? Like, don't do that.
Yeah, that was wild.
Oh, man.
Victory Road 07, July 15th. There's a Sherry We Miss You sign.
Oh.
During the break, we're seeing Rhino being talked down with Jim Cornette.
Oh, don't. If you gore fucking Cornette through the wall.
Yeah, look, Cornette just set himself up wicked easily right there.
Yeah, he is, dude. He's not doing it. They would have shown that live. They wouldn't tape that.
I don't know, dude.
What is Rhino trying to do? Try to barf or something? Maybe not.
Okay, reminder, tonight at iMPACT, the first title defense, Black Machismo versus Chris Sabin and Samoa Joe.
There's no way. Yeah, Jay Lethal's winning. There's no way.
Okay, so we're talking about Jeff Jarrett's personal issues, but we've been vague out of respect. But now we are showing the video package from Slammiversary again to answer all of your questions. So, Bob, on that note, we have seen this. We've talked about this, so I'm going to tell you some notes.
Okay, go ahead.
Scott Steiner was scheduled to leave Puerto Rico this week and take a cruise ship back to Miami, where he and his wife would drive back to Atlanta from. Scott won't be allowed to fly for some time. He had a minor setback, which Dave says I believe was an infection from surgery this past week that delayed him getting out of Puerto Rico by several days. It will be a few months before he's back in the ring. And that was a throat situation that happened.
So he said a few months. That's not. I thought before it was like, it could be a long, long time. A few months.
Yeah, so it's sounding positive.
Yeah.
One of our big pay-per-view events that happens every year, Bound for Glory. Now, one of the original plans for Bound for Glory in October was to hold it in Chicago, which would be the next major show outside of Orlando. Now, right now, that is still up in the air, though. And
if you were getting married in 2007 instead of 2025, would you have had us go to Bound for Glory in Chicago?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And my final note for the whole show, Bob, is apparently Ron Killings and Conan weren't the only ones trying to quit this week, because that Triple X team idea might be going up in flames. That's because Senshi has asked for his release this week, but he was turned down.
Okay. Wait a minute. Oh, wait. He asked for his release?
Yeah, but they said no.
Okay, so just quit then.
Apparently, you can just do that.
Well, you can't you? I don't understand. I don't understand how wrestling contracts work.
The contract thing is weird, right?
Can you just be like, you can't just be like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore? And I quit?
I don't know. I'll be honest.
Because, like, what are the rules for Ron and Conan? Like, if Ron just quits, do they have to approve the quit?
Do they have to approve the quit?
I don't understand. They're like, hey, yeah, it's fine. Or do they say no and you have to show up to work and then they can, like, sue them or something? That's probably what it is, right?
Yeah, that could definitely be it, yeah.
That's stupid. That's too much control for the employers, especially when they're independent contractors. They should be able to be like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. Wrestling is such a weird business.
It really is.
I don't feel comfortable watching Jeff cry right now about his wife.
Yeah, it's very sad. They showed. This is the exact video package we saw at Slammiversary, but I guess it's good that they're showing it on Impact.
No, this is making me sad, dude.
Just drink some C4 and you'll perk right up.
No, I don't. Well, I could, but I also just don't want to feel sad.
I've heard C4 helps you get dopamine and then you get happy again.
I don't think that's true.
Just what I've heard.
From who?
Just heard it somewhere once.
This guy.
In loving memory of Jill Jarrett. We had that at the end of the screen.
We've who are these people?
Sad fans.
Why is he crying?
I think that's a girl.
Yeah, hey, that was a girl?
I thought it was. Maybe it wasn't. They were zoomed in quite close.
I didn't mean... Well, right. I didn't mean to...
Well, don't worry. We're heading to the TNA Live video now. We're going to be in Massachusetts tomorrow night.
Cohasset?
I didn't even try to say it.
Lincoln, Rhode Island. And if you think we're covering these house shows, you would be right.
There's actually even one that is happening the same day as the show is. But yeah, we'll talk about those on our... Yeah.
Oh my god. How many people are going to go to that? 40?
It looks to be about 650. We'll talk about it next week.
TNA house show on a Thursday. What in the world?
Well, what else do you have to do in a different Massachusetts city?
Well, wait, hang on a minute. What time does Impact air at this point? Is it 9?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say, because if it was still at 11, I guess you could go to the house
You
show
go and then watch Impact.
and they're watching Impact after. Oh, here's Angry Joe again. Oh, Jesus.
Well, he's saying he wants to be right next to Angle, be on the same team. He wants to taste his blood. And when it's all said and done, and until I've done what I've set out to do.
With the TNA tag titles. Well, does Joe know that he can't technically beat his own partner and then win the title? He knows
Yeah,
that, right?
he must. Here comes Wildcat Chris Harris. Where's Gal Kim?
I don't know. Where is Gal?
You like that he's got like a remix of the AMW theme? Oh, I have lost audio. Oh, we're back.
And we got audio back.
Oh, look who's in the ring.
Who's
Serotonin. I believe Havoc is usually got... Is it Havoc? Oh, no, it's Martyr and... Oh, yeah, that is Havoc.
Oh, that's Raven.
Okay. Raven is fighting.
Oh,
what?
Okay.
And he's back to wearing jean shorts and a shirt. He no longer looks like Serotonin Raven. He looks like 2010 Raven.
He looks like 1998 Raven, but it's like you put your colors with your whites in the washer, and then it's just all running.
Oh my god. Is he wearing a fake tattoo sleeve? What is that thing on his arm?
He's Jeff Hardy, dude. I don't know what's going on.
He's doing the Russian leg sweep against the guardrail. Why does Raven wrestle every 4 months?
He's got an identity crisis. He's like the credit card you have where you get the notification where like we're gonna close the account unless you use it, and they're like, oh shit, I might as well make one purchase and then keep it open. That's what this is.
I mean, it does kind of feel like that.
It does. Although usually it's got to be like a year if you don't use your card, they'll close it. But
is that how that goes?
I think so because I had one happen to me. So that was a shitty clothesline in the corner with a bulldog. Pick out. What is that? What is that wet spot in the middle of the ring? Somebody get sick?
Well, let me tell you what happened before this match in the taping. Well, the last match, and then that 3-way. So it must have happened in the last match. Oh, you know what it is, Bob? We're so dumb. It was the beer that he dumped on Rhino.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Duh.
Yep, that will do it. You know what I would do if I was James Storm? I would cut that piece of the mat off and then just give it to Rhino.
Oh, that kendo stick to the back of Chris Harris when he's going for that bulldog off the rope. Right. Raven with the Russian leg sweep into the corner. Accidentally hit the referee as well there. Kaz is coming down.
Kaz?
Jumping on both the back of Martyr and Havoc. Springboard. Clothesline takes out Raven.
Oh, Kaz is not in Serotonin anymore?
That's a Victory Road match. Absolutely.
It has to be. Oh, he's going with the babyface.
Catatonic. Boom.
Got it.
Goes for the cover.
1, 2, 3.
Chris Harris gets the win over the legendary Raven.
Good for Chris Harris. That's a turn for our boy.
What is that chair? Did you just see that chair?
No.
At the top of the ramp, there's a giant throne. Oh, backstage, Christian Coalition here. Should I go with him too? A Styles is yelling at a cone into Christian's ear. Oh, Chris Harris.
Oh,
look up here, buddy.
He's cost them the match.
That's okay. It's me, Christian Cage, the Instant Classic. The man that makes superstars.
Right.
If you want to become a star, Chris, it begins and ends with me.
Oh.
That's where fans line up for my autographs. They line up to take pictures with me. Wrestlers want to be in the ring with me just so they can tell their grandkids they had the chance. Slammiversary, Chris, that you wanted to be the next star. Oh, he got the attention of the Instant Classic. So you want to be a superstar, Chris? Oh, we're going to put on a masterpiece, Wildcat. If you don't know,
that,
and he says he yells cut. Oh, what the hell are you doing here? He just stood up.
Who is
AJ
it?
Tomko. Oh, it had to be Abyss. Had to be Abyss.
Oh no, who was it?
Look at their new announce table, dude. It's a folding like plastic table that you do at picnics.
Well, that's what happens when Rhino freaking breaks it.
True. Oh, there you go. There's your answer. It's Abyss. He just tossed Christian Cage out of the entrance ramp.
Well, why would Abyss do that? He should be beating up Tomko, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's fair. But Christian is he's the leader of the group that made, beat down on him and all this.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Who would have thought just like a year and a half ago, Abyss was trying to murder Christian Cage in a pool, and now he's the good guy.
I know. Well, Abyss has a barbed wire bat, but Tomko comes in from behind, and so does AJ Styles to stop him from going after Christian, who was back down in the corner. By the way, if you're following along with us, we're at 33 minutes and 45 seconds into the show.
Tomko going for like a choke bomb, but he settles for a punch.
There's the big boot. Christian is running away, but Abyss is standing tall with that barbed wire bat. Commercial, and we're back. Oh, we're talking about the Destination X DVD. Samoa Joe's first title shot. Sting and Abyss
lost
in the last rights match, which was not good.
Scott Steiner and Kurt Angle.
Home Video presents Destination X. Look at that sick cover.
The Elevation X match is probably a good way to market the DVD.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Jim Mitchell.
Oh, boy. No, boy.
He searched the dark underbelly of something.
Of the seas?
He found a prize. He suddenly appeared. What is this?
This has got to be Ricky.
Countless Sleep, it's nice. A Creature Beyond. Force unlike anything the world has ever seen. He's coming. He is coming.
He is coming.
His son?
Not literal. I think he's his son.
No. Well, Impact Main Event X Division Championship about to begin. Okay, so it's official, Bob. James Mitchell has found his new monster. We just don't know who it is yet. Well, we've heard the rumors, but
his new son. I think it's Vampiro.
I'd love that. Bring back the new church.
Yeah, it's Slash. I would say Malice, but Malice unfortunately died, so that can't be the case.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
But that, you know what? That would have been. I bet you if Malice hadn't passed away, they would have absolutely brought him in.
You think so?
To have a match, oh, yeah, for sure. Have a feud with Abyss.
Samoa Joe came out, and here comes Chris Sabin. 2 former X Division champions going up against the current.
This is going to be depressing. All right. Well, indie notes, I guess.
This match has some.
Yeah. So Jay Lethal, he teamed up with Azriel, and they were the Jersey All Pro Tag Team Champions. That was until they lost the titles to LAX at Back to Business on June 9th.
Oof.
Chris Sabin Well, he just had the UWF shows, but we talked about those. June 1st, he retained the TNA X Division Championship by defeating Josh Abercrombie for PPW's Unleashed in Maryville, Indiana. And then Samoa Joe, on June 9th, he was at that same Jersey All Pro Back to Business show where he defeated B-Boy, Diablo Santiago, and Eddie Kingston in a Four Corners match. That's your new notes.
Earl Hebner's your referee holding up the title.
The highest stakes, one of the highest stakes matches in TNA Impact history. It's an X Division title match.
And there was no JB boxing introductions, so...
Right, so it's not that serious.
Oh my god. Samoa Joe and Lethal
on,
going at it here.
That was definitely on purpose.
Yeah, he slammed Lethal face first into the mat.
Countering
kick in the corner to Sabin. Look at that.
Oh, what?
Well, that's a sell. I don't know. About to give Sabin a little face wash here, maybe?
Oh.
Nope, caught with a drop kick, but he no-sells it. Double drop kick on Samoa Joe. Gets him off his feet outside the ring. Oh, Sabin poked Lethal in the eyes.
Oof.
See, he's got his feet. Face. Toss him to the apron. Swip the foot. Uh-oh, Samoa Joe going for a dive, going high risk. Takes out both Lethal and Sabin ringside. We're going to commercial. Stay with us.
I would be stunned if Samoa Joe doesn't win this.
Dude, that'd be wild, wouldn't it?
Missile dropkick by Sabin to Joe.
Oh, what a boot in the corner by Sabin to Lethal. He's hanging him up in the tree of woe.
Whoa.
Hesitation dropkick. Good night.
Yep. Nailed it.
Sabin goes for the cover.
I like how Don just goes, it's almost like he suspends in midair. It's a hesitation
yeah, he does.
Dropkick. That's what that means. Joe with a powerbomb? Nope. Sabin counters with roll up. 1, 2. No kick out.
Yeah, that wasn't going to do nothing there.
Atomic drop. Inverted atomic drop. Running big boot to Sabin by Joe. And a back senton. Can he get him with that? Sabin, I feel like, is purposely overselling.
Yeah, he is. He definitely is.
Yeah, it's giving me like Shawn Michaels vibes against Hogan.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Want to be doing this. Oh, Samoa Joe going for the muscle buster, but it looks like Lethal breaks out of it. Headbutt by Joe.
Oh no, what are we doing? Joe has Lethal on the middle rope, but Lethal's fighting back, punching Joe off. Whoa. Oh my god, elbow drop? Non-dominant arm? No. Oh. Sabin shoving.
Bye-bye, and Joe got up, kicked Sabin in the head. Look how he's selling, dude.
Oh my god, it's because he's doing the job.
Here comes the muscle buster on Sabin.
Oh yeah, dude. He's so mad.
And that is a 3. Samoa Joe is your new X Division champion. Lethal held it for a whopping 4 days. Weird. Oh, Jim Cornette. Samoa Joe, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, Samoa Joe has earned a spot in the Match of Champions at Victory Road. Next week, we're going to find out the partner, so that means the World Heavyweight title is on the line next week. In the 3-way, Kurt Angle defending. against Christian Cage and Rhino.
Whoa. Rhino's pissed, too. Wow.
Wonder who Joe's partner is going to be.
Probably just Kurt Angle.
Yeah, probably, but... And here we go into our Adrenaline Rush video package. Okay.
Well...
Bob, what'd you think of that episode of Impact? Did it leave you with a good feeling?
Not really. Okay.
Well, I for one liked it.
Of course you did. I think I am getting a little annoyed with Samoa Joe.
Oof. Shots fired.
I just think that, and especially the dynamic between Joe and Angle. I'm
definitely a little over that.
Yeah, at the cost of Jay Lethal. I mean, that's annoying. I don't like that.
Yep.
I would have hoped that we would have kept Kurt and Joe apart. I would imagine some Bound for Glory. Like maybe you revisit it then in October. But yeah, I don't know. It just feels like it's like a constant thing. And I was looking for it, like Lethal and Angle against Team 3D. Like, okay, like this gives Lethal a huge potential rub, to be involved in a main event like that. And then, and I know he wasn't pinned by Joe, so they are protecting him in that regard, I guess. But
right, that's true.
I don't know, man. The idea of the main event for Victory Road as it stands, like, I don't really care. Like, there's no way that Brother Ray or Brother Devon would win either one of the singles titles.
I know, and that's the thing that sucks about a match like this. It's extremely predictable.
Right.
But I don't know. And this also means no titles are in the line. Well, they all are in one match, but we don't have 3 title matches like we normally would on a pay-per-view. So,
which sucks.
It's gonna be a hard sell, dude. It's gonna be a hard sell.
Right. Your undercard is gonna be just borderline meaningless matches of just feuds that are happening. This is, this could also potentially lead to one of the wrestling tropes I despise.
Uh-oh.
And that is if it is still Kurt and Joe against Team 3D, unless it changes. But if Kurt and Joe were to win the tag titles, that means 2 guys that hate each other are the tag team champions. And I hate that.
Until Kurt picks his partner, or whoever gets the pin, or Samoa Joe, because technically they aren't the champions together.
That's right.
But he could pick him.
Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Type of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I could absolutely see Samoa Joe winning the match, right?
Totally, dude.
Totally. Like, who's on Impact? Cornette, like, who's your partner? And he'd be like, I hate him. The only way I can keep my eye on him.
Joe.
The only way I can keep my eye on him is if he's in my corner. So I'm gonna pick Kurt Angle.
Yep. Totally can see it.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, is this a bad episode? No. Does it have me excited for anything? No.
So you're giving it a thumbs up, is what you're saying?
No, I'm not going to give it a thumbs up.
Oh, are you in the middle?
I mean, Kaz turned. Yeah, I feel like I'm more of a middle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it was not a bad show. I think the matches were good. The Kaz thing, I think, is interesting.
Well, see, I don't think the matches were necessarily good. I mean,
for the TV matches, the tag match in the beginning was quick, and the Rhino blow up. I don't know. I think there's some good stuff on this episode. The new tease of Mitchell's monster.
The Rhino blow up was very good.
Right. See,
that's true. That was very good. I don't know. To me, right now, as it stands, it's like, okay, your main goal with television is to get people to want to buy Victory Road.
Mm-hmm.
And none of this has done that. Now, I want to actually see the next week's episode because Rhino did such a good job of being a fucking madman because of the alcohol thing. Like, what is he going to do in a triple threat?
Right. That's a good point. That makes it more exciting for that.
Yeah, so I think in that regard, yeah, that's fine. But I don't know. Victory Road doesn't seem like a ho hum. I gotta go buy it. As it stands right now.
So far, I definitely agree with that. But time will tell as we get a little bit closer. I think we only got 3 more episodes before Victory Road, so we are marching along before our next monthly pay-per-view.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And as I've said before, that show, our next the wrong one. Our next pay-per-view is Victory Road on July 15th. And then next week's episode obviously has the triple threat match to determine who's going to go there. But also on next week's episode, we have 4 house shows that we'll have to discuss. 2 of which are in Massachusetts. One of them is in Rhode Island, and the other one being in New Hampshire. So we'll see how all that plays out. We'll see. Can Kurt Angle successfully defend the title against Rhino and Christian Cage? That is what we know for next week. And who knows what else will happen. There's only one way to find out. And that is to continue to join us here as we continue to watch TNA Wrestling. So until next week, for Dallas Gridley, I am Bob Colling Jr., and this has been the TNA Cross the Line podcast.